We are live on a Tuesday. It's Rich Lieberman and the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse, and we're all watching. Well, not all of us, but most of us are watching what is taking place or what could about to be a mounting escalation of the war in Iran, Iraq. And that involves, excuse me, I said Iraq, I meant to say Israel. But as this intensifies, and we have Trump who left the G7 summit early on Monday so he can get to the White House and meet with his senior staff in the what they call the sit room. It's the situation room. And presumably Trump now is weighing all the options put forward. It's now just a question of when, in my mind. And I've contacted some of the finest, most influential decision makers with regards to the Middle East. I called Marty Lurie. I called Brian Murphy at KNBR. I called uh, Adam Copeland. I called Pete Giddings. And most of them said it's not a question of if, but when they, the United States military, with its B-2 bomber, drops that all-encompassing major cluster bunker bomb onto the Fordo nuclear plant in Iran. And short of an unconditional surrender, which doesn't appear likely, that would be pretty much the end all for this conflict. Now, of course, there's lots of outside forces, no pun intended, that could intervene. We don't know what's actually taking place. People in Iran, especially Tehran, seem to be hell-bent on getting out of there. They showed a picture of the freeways, and I called some of the finest people with regards to freeway knowledge. I called, who did I call? I called Victor Zaragoza at KCBS, who knows the freeways. I called other traffic reporters, Tiffany Winstrom, uh, people like that. And I said, what's traffic like on Tehran's major highway? And they all said, follow the brake tapping. So in any event, there seems to be now, as I surmise, we're going to get involved. We're already involved in this war. Not much of a war now. Israel controls the skies over Iran, particularly Tehran. And look, it's a big country. And as I said, in most of the military analysts on CNN, on MSNBC, Fox, BBC, short of an unconditional surrender, and that would be the supreme leader, as they call it in Iran, surrendering or basically saying, we're done, let's make a deal. And even at that, they're still going to bomb that Fordo, they call it. That's the nuclear plant where they've been enriching uranium. It's now about 250 to 300 feet below ground, which is why you would need the U.S. involvement in that regard, because it is the only nation that has the capability of bombing this site. Israel, even with its vast superiority militarily wise, intelligence wise, with Mossad, they don't have that capability. They don't have the technology nor the warplanes. The United States, and let's face it, folks, we're already involved. We are. We've been giving them intelligence. I'm sure they've been providing intelligence to us through their Mossad and our CIA. When it gets to situations like this, believe me, intelligence ranks very high. It's on the front burner. It is something to which you have to pay attention to. And I'm sure that Netanyahu, the prime minister for Israel, has spoken to President Trump about what is going on, the war machinations taking place. I'm 100,000% convinced. Trump may give out the idea that he is independent and that he's making decisions from moment to moment. Believe me, they know what's going on, they being Netanyahu, Trump, and Trump at one point soon, probably sooner rather than later, is going to make the ultimate call and let his Joint Chiefs of Staff know, if he hasn't already, get ready. We're about to launch. This B-2, I spoke to several military people, and they concluded that most likely this bomber, which is like flies almost like a drone, but it's a big, big time airplane that has the physical capacity to drop that big bomb on the Fordro plant. Most likely that aircraft would come from one of the bases nearby, not from one of the aircraft carriers, the Lincoln, which is on the Mediterranean, and the USS Carl Vinson. So, as I speak to you right now live, it's about 11 o'clock at night in Israel and Iran, about 1,000 miles east of Israel. Something else the military people have pointed out, and I've known this for a while because I've researched this, probably some of you too. Do you see any public condemnations from the Arab countries like Saudi Arabia? No. Jordan? No. Egypt? No. Bahrain? No. That's because they too, like the majority of the Iranian people, want this done. They do not want, like the US, like most especially Israel, do not want Iran equipped with a nuclear bomb. So, those of you that are interested in this subject, and my goodness, how can you not be? This involves not just Israel and Iran, but the United States, indeed the world. This has implications on. I have been monitoring CNN, Fox News. They were able to get an interview, a one-on-one with Netanyahu and the various IDF officials, but the Netanyahu hit was pretty big, the hit interview. And of course, MSNBC, I'll give them credit, last night they stayed with the story. And we've pretty much gone away from LA and the protests to this very, very provocative and compelling, albeit very untranquil situation in the Middle East with regards to Israel and Iran. Folks, do become a subscriber, a paid subscriber, by paying $15 for the year. That will enable you to, of course, my show, plus exclusives, plus down the road, your very own Rich Lieberman Media Pulse coffee mug, which I know you stayed up for many a nights to feel and dream about getting one of those coffee mugs. Go to my PayPal, click on it. It is 100% safe and secure. Be a paid subscriber. Help me maintain this show so I can continue to give you why you come here every day, and look forward to getting the information that you won't get anywhere else. As I always say, don't be a total abomination. Join, become a paid subscriber to the Media Pulse right now. And I will thank you via email and or phone for your contribution.